but there were times I had to get him man to man.
And your favorite team that you guys love to face in your division?
Yours.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
it's like the games like you play against the Raiders, you might get 3 sacks. When they had Jamarcus Russell, which I did, so I got 3 sacks on them. I got 3 sacks on them in the first half, right?
Yeah.
And I'm ready, and they take Tommy Maddox.
What is going on, everyone? This is West War Room Rivals with the boys tonight. So honestly, I want to skip through as much as possible. I do want to give sponsorship shout outs real quick. So Troy and his team over at Kansas Field Ops, and then Angie and her team over at Emporia State Federal Credit Union, and then the man himself, Jeff, and his team at JBW Solutions Studios. So honestly, let's get the guests on here. We got Meg, who has been on here before. We're glad to have her. And we have a very massive other special guests as well that we're also going to bring on here. It's one of Meg's friends as well. So, and the brother of the War Room,
Matt's here.
Our brother from another mother.
Brother from another.
My homies, my brothers. Good to see you guys.
Yeah. So Meg, obviously you're still the star of the show tonight. Obviously, Matt, we're obviously super stoked.
I cannot hear the Shovik brothers at all.
Well,
oh no.
We can hear you, so that's all that matters. But Meg, how have you been?
Yeah, busy, really busy, but great overall.
Yeah, I think I don't know if there's ever a time in our group text that we haven't been talking about being busy.
Your lips moving, but no words are coming out.
No words come out. Yeah, name that movie.
I just can't hear you two, and I can hear Meg.
Can you hear Meg and myself?
I can hear you and Meg.
Why all of a sudden can you not hear us?
That's rude.
Selective.
It's selective hearing.
Yeah.
I probably am going deaf. I'm not even gonna lie. I did my audiogram before coming out here, and I failed it 3 times.
I feel safer.
Either I didn't study or I'm losing my hearing.
I'm almost too afraid to ask Matt to join us back in the studio and see if that helps, because I don't want him to go. So I don't.
Yeah, no, he's good. He can ignore
We
us.
can try our luck. I'm okay with that. I don't want to hold anyone up, but it's all about Meg today. So
yeah, it definitely is. But it's also nice to have you join us. So yeah, no doubt.
Can you tell him it's cool to just see him on screen?
Let me. I'll try and log out. The show can go on. I'll try and log out, log back in. If I can't get back in, then continue on without me. We'll try again another day.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. All right, brother. We'll see you in a second.
Well, the show will go on with Meg, the star of the UK, friend of the War Room. Glad to have you back in here. Glad things have been going well. It's about time we got you back in here. It's been long enough.
I know, right? I was starting to think you didn't want me to come back. I was like, okay.
Well, you're just so big time now that it's like, I don't know when we can plan this out. So,
well, in full disclosure here, we've been talking about we really need to get Meg back on here like ASAP, and we said this 4 or 5 months ago. Like once we were getting into towards playoff season, we were getting into some other things. We were like, we really got to get Meg on. But Cody and Austin said, you're kind of taking off. You're kind of big time. You're doing your thing, which we love to see. Also,
she kept putting us off.
Well,
no, absolutely not. I've always got time for you guys.
Well, we appreciate that. So let's go ahead and kick this off. So basically, what's changed since the last time you were on here? Like, what are you up to now?
My time's kind of split now between football and sport, and then country music scene. So it's wild, because as if I wasn't busy enough with all the sports stuff, I'm now at all the country music festivals. I'm doing I've got my own NFL radio show, which was completely out of the blue for me. It's the only one in the UK actually, so that's kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And just sorting that out in itself is fun. But yeah, I never really get a minute to sleep, so
yeah.
Yeah, for those of you unaware, it's I don't know, 12:30 in the morning there, almost 1 o'clock in the morning there now. So she's doing a trooper for us. That's also, we moved it up a little bit to try to get it. Maybe she can get a minute or two of sleep. So it's been awesome seeing what you've done since last time. So what's been your favorite moment, or like, I don't know, maybe content piece that you've made, whether it is in the country scene or the football scene, with the radio shows and whatnot?
I have to say, having Marvin Powell come on, and he was like super keen to join like UK side of things. He came on and did an hour interview on my radio, and he was like, "Please have me back at your earliest convenience." And I was like,
That's so
"Sorry,
cool.
absolutely down." So in terms of sport, that was probably my highlight, and then the country music side, I went to the biggest country music festival on a press pass, and I actually got to meet one of my idols in music. So that was pretty cool.
Who's the idol?
She's called Emily Ann Roberts, and she's incredible. Like, as a human being, she's insane. And so I got to like chat to her. She signed my cap, which again made my life. So
That's awesome.
How did you get backstage passes, and how did you work all that out? Or the press pass, excuse me.
So the radio station that I work for gets all the media events for country music over here. And I travelled back to Scotland, back to the motherland, for the festival.
Feel
and
that.
actually, so they just like divide it up between us, and I had first dibs on that festival, so it was loads of fun.
Well, I thought you were going to say you took the Mike Variable route, so I'm glad to hear.
Jesus.
Well, early for this one.
No, that's awesome. So, Cody, that's going to confuse me. This is Matt, but it's Cody.
Yeah, I'll read Matt's question unless he's got one in between this one. But Megan, since you've been here last, what's the growth that has surprised you the most since we've seen you last?
I think the amount of people UK side who I've met that are into football. I've recently joined a podcast network heading up the Falcons division, and being part of that kind of community within the UK has been insane. Like, previously I used to like sit up all night on TikTok chatting to like you guys and to like people like stateside, being like, oh my god, football, and started my channel just because I had no one to talk to about the sport that I love the most this side of the pond. And it's been insane, literally insane, like the amount of people, and even like my close friendship group through country music now, because they see how passionate I am. Like, I spent Christmas Day with my best friend and her family, and they were like, Meg, like, NFL's on Christmas Day, right? And I was like, yes. And they were like, do you want to watch it with us and explain it as we go? I was like, absolutely, I'm so down for this. Because Lainey Wilson was the halftime show at the Dallas game. So obviously they are like, Lainey's there. And I was like, what better way to get into football than cross it over with things that you love? And back in October, my best friend decided her team finally that she was going to be a Seahawks fan. She didn't know anything about their trajectory at that point. She was just like, I like the colours. And I was like, do it. And so she's picked the best season to become a Seahawks fan.
Bandwagon.
She puts right in with about 90% of the Chiefs fans.
I do have a question for you, Meg. So the last time you were on the show, you graced us all with your little color-coded schedule and ranking system and whatnot. Is the color code still in effect a year later, especially now with the country music?
Yes. So obviously schedules were released today. I haven't even had a chance today to look at schedules yet. Obviously, I know that the Madrid game is against the Bengals on the 8th of November. And I've looked at the London games because I've had so many people texting me today to be like, because I had the news. So I had a little bit of an inside scoop on the international games about 3-4 days ago. And I messaged the people who it was relevant to, as in one Texans fan that I know. I was like, hey, heads up, your guys are coming to London. And he was like, no, don't do this to me. Don't, like, unless you know for sure. I was like, I'm pretty certain this is a good source. Like, so today, all day, I've been inundated with, oh my God, you were right, blah, blah, blah. When do I get tickets? How much are they going to cost me? How's this going to work? Like, so yeah, the color coding system is pending for next season.
Okay. I mean, I'm more concerned about my brothers because they actually see the colors. I only see light gray, dark gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, yours is just like a varied shades of gray.
Yeah. He's literally seeing 50 Shades of Grey. Rose at just the right time.
But I will say there's also a pretty important college game that's going to be coming over to your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'd expect you to rock a KU shirt, hopefully.
Of course. Are you kidding? I got invited to that back last year at some point. One of the guys who's actually running the show across here, I think I messaged Austin about it at the time. I was like, hey, am I a KU fan or what? And he was like, yes.
Yes, you are a KU fan. And if we weren't so poor, I would love to come over there and watch that KU Arizona State game. But yeah.
I mean, I can get you in on press, but you need to sort your flights.
Yeah, I know. That's.
I'll take a look.
Yeah. So what's one thing that people still don't understand about you being a football creator over there?
I think there's a few things that are key that stand out for me. Obviously, the time zone thing always breaks people's brains, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here in the UK, we are very much into instant gratification. So we want like a very fast-paced game that's going to be like that, and one goal and it's done, and you can kind of like write off the rest. And people don't understand that it's not rugby, and secondly, it's all strategy. Like, part of why I love it is like the mastermind that has to go behind all the different, the playbook, the strategies, the defense, that like all of that. They don't understand the fact that there's 3 like different teams that are going to be on the field at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest thing, and this is something that's been drawn to my attention more recently, is that we don't get the tailgates. We don't get the atmosphere. We don't get even when the games come to London, it's not the same. Like, there's not the hype. It's quite flat. It's not like everybody's hyped up and cheering because it's such a mixture of fans normally. And I think that's a massive part of it now. Obviously, I've never been to the States to a game, so that I can't personally relate. But I also kind of feel like I don't really want to go to the London games this year because I want to experience it in the States first. Like, I want my first game to be in Atlanta in Mercedes-Benz. So I might be cutting my nose off to spite my face a little bit here, but I just feel like without that whole picture of the before, the after, the like being in a stadium where like all the fans are there for those teams, I feel like that definitely is misunderstood here.
Yeah, you hear that, Matt Ryan? Get her to Mercedes-Benz.
Talk about hell of a stadium to have your first game at. That'd be pretty, beautiful
Right.
stadium. I've seen it. It's incredible.
It's and it's always one of the forefront stadiums for innovation as well, and technology and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And cheap. Arthur Blank
Yes.
keeps everything super cheap there, like concessions and everything. Like,
did you guys hear that he made an anonymous, like a completely like under the radar massive donation recently, and like to a charity, and he didn't release that he'd done it. No, like it ended up getting leaked completely separately, not as in a leak, like, oh, he's planted it, as in the charity leaked it and said, we've had this huge donation from Arthur Blank. And I was like, this guy, what a guy.
I think
thought
he's
you
like
were going to say that it was going to be a donation to Tua.
Yeah. I was like,
I mean, he is a charity case and we have taken him on, so
you guys can use it as a tax write-off for charitable donations.
I'd say so. I'm going to write about it. I'm going to send him a strongly worded email.
There you
hey,
go.
at least the Dolphins are paying for that charity.
A good chunk of it, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
speaking of, perfect segue into, we're going to start talking some Falcons football. Before we do that, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you text and message all your friends right now. Let them know that Matt is sitting on our screen just looking beautiful.
While protecting us.
While protecting us, absolutely. Like, he doesn't have to say words. People will just be happy to see his face. So make sure you let everyone know. Yeah, that beautiful face. That's what's protecting us night in and night out. Could be scary. Absolutely. So we're going to dive into some Falcons talk a little bit. Sorry, Meg. I mean, we have to. You're a Falcons fan. So I feel like this first question is kind of just going to cut deep. It may be a bad starting one, but are the Falcons fans finally allowed to feel some real hope again? Having a couple left-handed quarterbacks. We'll talk about the draft later, but with some pieces they've added.
New head coach.
You think Falcons can really feel some hope again?
No.
Okay.
All right.
If you want my honest answer.
No, that is what we want. And I feel like it's probably the truth, right? Like, they're still a ways away. Like, they have good players, but
look, we were on the up, right? We were starting to look like we had our defense kind of together. We drafted well for defense last season. We showed that our defense was better, improving. And then we got to like midway through the season and we thought, what are we doing? This is too good. Just sack it off immediately and become terrible again. Somebody needs to go get arrested somewhere. We need to draft maybe the worst, or we need to sign maybe the worst quarterback in terms of injury protocol that you can think of. Probably take on a failing head coach somewhere along the line and get rid of some key pieces that are clearly doing too well for the offense. So,
real quick, guys, I got to get out of here. I got to cut my time short. I'm so sorry.
All good, dude.
Thanks for having me, Meg. It was so good to see you.
And you, thank you.
I'm sure I'll have questions for you. I'll probably message them to you later and add it in a graphic somewhere. But guys, thanks for having me on. Thanks for giving me my 5 minutes of fame.
Hell yeah.
Meg, thanks for sharing the screen with you, and I'll catch you guys later.
All right. Love you, brother.
Love you, Matt. Rude to interrupt.
But yeah,
all right.
There's no hope for us, is essentially what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And it's honest. I like it.
Yeah. Now I think Cody's getting ready to ask the fun question.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Meg, unfortunately, the Atlanta team, and I'm not talking about the Atlanta Braves, have a couple lefties on their roster. Which quarterback are you thinking is going to be the one that gets the nod? And then what is your expectations for both of them?
Well, obviously, Michael Penix is still recovering. We have had brief pieces of information that it's looking hopeful that he'll be back for first week of the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
My concern is that he was sitting behind a quarterback who was injury prone and not ideal, not very confident, a little bit bitter last season. And, he spent his rookie season again without that guidance that I feel is required. Now, luckily, obviously, we've got Matt Ryan in there now as, head of football, whatever. My concern is that he's sitting behind another quarterback who not only is injury prone, but he's likely to, at some point, at least get some starts. And what that's doing for Michael Penix is it's not making him our franchise QB, right? At no point is it felt assured that Michael Penix is going to be on that field week in, week out. And you've got to think of the psyche, and this is going back to the strategy that I was speaking about previously. For me, he's a young quarterback and he has a lot of potential, given the right resources, the right coaching, the right guidance. But if you're someone, and any of us in our workplace, if we were sitting at work and you knew that your replacement sat on the bench and waiting to just sub in for you at any given time, it's going to go one of two ways. You're going to play like your life depended on it as best as you can with what you've got, or it's going to be in your mind, if I mess this up, I'm got, like, I'm benched. It's me sitting on that bench next week.
Mm-hmm.
For me, because of his age and his lack of experience, that's a worry for me. Because I feel like they're kind of constantly just putting this message in like, hey, we're ready to replace you. We're ready to replace you all the time. And more so with Tua being that bit younger than Kirk Cousins, more so that he's kind of had more game time of late than Kirk Cousins, who'd obviously come off of an injured season and was always kind of a bit of a backup regardless. So it concerns me, massively concerns me, the state of our quarterback room right now.
Man, if there was someone at my job ready to sub in for me, I don't know about you, but I'm turning around and tapping out. Like,
I think you guys would know my thoughts on that.
Yeah. No, but definitely get your point on that quarterback, right? Like, quarterback is so important with the psyche, right? The mental, like all these guys have what it takes, like maybe not Tua, like arm strength and stuff like that, but the mental is what separates, average from good and good to great.
But also the leadership element as well. Like, you've got a team that you need to look to your quarterback for that leadership. And if you've got two people who are vying constantly for that QB1 role, I don't think it's great for the rest of the team either.
Do you think the Falcons are doing a disservice to Penix to just, like what you said, they're not making him the franchise guy? I mean, I think they drafted him 9th or 10th in the draft that they picked him up at after signing Kirk Cousins to like a huge contract. So to like your point, do you think it's the franchise failing Penix to not make him the sole guy and push him? Or is it Penix just not living up to the expectation?
I don't think he's been given the chance. I think the franchise definitely, but I feel like they're doing that across the board right now. I feel like there's so much uncertainty with so many of the kind of not as obviously as important as quarterback or major as quarterback, but we've seen such a high turnover of coaching staff, and I'm not talking head coaches, I'm talking just in general, coaching staff, the coaching systems, our wide receiver room's blown apart at the minute. Like, you're looking at all the different things and there's just never any certainty. And one thing that I always say a strong team is going to bring is that knowledge that, look, you can mess up sometimes. Everybody messes up sometimes. However, we're going to help you get back from that and fix the mistakes. Instead, it just feels like nothing's permanent right now. It just feels like everything's ready to change at any given moment. And I don't like, call me autistic, but I really don't like that feeling of just never knowing week to week what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the landscape of it, they went and hired Kevin Stefanski, right? It's like, yes, I still think he could be an okay head coach, but I think that obviously Cleveland did what their best they could do. They gave him a $300 million guaranteed quarterback that kind of threw everything out. Now you're giving him Tua and you're giving him Michael Penix, which we saw what a left-handed quarterback could do in that offense. Dylan Gabriel looked pretty good at times. He obviously was a rookie, so again, there could be some hope for Stefanski there. So with all the new additions and maybe a player currently on the roster, is there a player that you think might be massively underrated?
I take you back to the first time I appeared on this podcast, and I stand on my business with Casey Washington. I still say that guy is slept on. Every single season that he's played for us, he has been slept on. He comes on for injury or for whatever. He comes on, him and Kadarrell Hodge. I've added Kadarrell Hodge to this as well, by the way, because both of those are coming on and doing what needs to be done in times of need. They're not really given the chance to start very often. Kadarrell Hodge a little bit more so. And then you watch the Falcons play in the last few games of the season, and you've got some guy called like Sills the Fourth, who nobody's ever heard of, jumping in and messing up and dropping ball. Like,
that's David Sills the Fourth from West Virginia. Be nice to him.
Yeah, legend. He's
a West Virginia legend.
He's not a Falcons legend, though, is he? Let's be honest. It's so frustrating because I feel like people don't see, like, unless you really study ball, right? I noticed Casey Washington pre-season, his first season, 2024, he was drafted in the 6th round for us, right? I'm watching him and I'm like, this guy has so much potential. Give him a chance. Just give him the chance and let him do his thing. Because if you play it right, you give him that opportunity, he's going to make things happen. And we saw it when Kadarrell Hodge walked on, and literally won the game for us with seconds to go. Neither of those are getting a look in.
Yeah, that I remember the Washington pick. I was curious if that would remain. So not too surprising there. Just a little breaking news: the Dolphins did make Devon Achane. Wait, how are we supposed to say his name? Anyway, I'm gonna say it like that. The 3rd highest paid running back in the league. So that Dolphins are at least keeping one player.
Good. So now we can quit talking about him getting traded.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to get dealt in 2
Bronco
seasons
fans.
from now. So
Yep.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. So Meg, last question in our little Falcons State of the Union here. If/when the Atlanta Falcons disappoint this year,
Jeez.
what do you think the biggest reason is going to be for that?
I have notes, actually, on this one.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
These notes are ones that I've been making during the off season, to be honest. After the draft, I was like, right, we've still got some problems here, so let me just pull these notes up. First of all, who is our wide receiver 2 right now?
I
You don't
can't
have
pronounce
many
his last
anymore?
name. It starts with
You
a
don't
Z,
have
I think.
Zacchaeus.
Zacchaeus.
Right.
Kyle Pitt?
Anybody got any faith in that one?
Well, no,
working out?
it'd be Drake London because Bijan would be your wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. I mean, Kyle Pitts could be the second
Kyle
option,
Pitts
I
is getting
suppose.
traded, as far as I'm concerned.
You think so? I think he just signed his franchise tag, didn't he?
He did, and then immediately, like 3 weeks later, he was in very final stages of trade talks. Apparently,
If he
And
winds up on the Broncos, I'm gonna be pissed.
It
Not a
won't.
chance.
It won't be the Broncos.
it's
Okay,
not
thank
the
God.
Broncos. I can't remember who it was.
Oh yeah, didn't they draft Branch?
Yeah, Zacharias Brand.
Yeah. See,
Um,
Georgia legend.
Drewski over there with the knowledge in the chat.
See, Meg, you're a big Georgia gal. You should be pumped about that.
I am, to be fair. I was excited to see him. I love him, by the way. I think he's great. We need a right tackle to replace Caleb McGarry. Because as far as I'm concerned, like all the good things that we did for defense last year were already a little bit on the shaky side. We need a reliable inside linebacker, someone who's going to show
About the
up,
linebacker life. I feel you on that one.
right?
Yeah.
And I also feel like we need to look at our depth, our rotation for depth at edge as well, because it's shady at best. We did well last season.
Yeah, you guys' pressure and sack rate was a lot higher over the last couple, so which is why again I still think Raheem Morris had a lot to do with that.
I agree. I think, and I've always said this, Raheem Morris as a DC would have been top tier. He was never ready to be a head coach.
Well, I
And
think
don't
this is
he
his
ever
second stint as a head coach with the Falcons, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It was.
He had
Yes.
already one go at it, didn't
Tampa
work
Bay.
out. This
messed
is the
that one
second.
up.
Then he got hired as a DC. Interim wise was great. Then full time head coach, not so great. So I think he's one of those coaches that falls under good coordinator or great coordinator, not so good head coach.
We
Yeah.
say that a lot on our show.
We do.
And I mean, I can't talk about Stefanski because I'm so mad about it. I just can't. I've not been able to actually publicly talk about it yet. When that time comes, I will.
Didn't we
Make a
joke
statement.
with you about this on the show
Yes,
the first
the
time?
week
That it was,
before.
we were like, oh, it's going to end up being like Stefanski and stuff. And you were just like, it better not be. It better. And then I felt so bad because I was like, oh, snap. It's Stefanski. Meg's going to
You
be
guys-
free.
On a live, you guys said to me, "Oh, who do you want your next head coach to be?" And I joked and I went, "Oh, I think Stefanski would be a great pick."
That's what it was.
Sarcastically. And I feel responsible, so this is
Yeah.
why I've not.
They listen
publicly
to you.
stated.
Well, at least you know Bijan's going to have like 300 carries though, because Stefanski runs that ball. So
Yeah.
Valid.
He's gonna get, he's
everything
gonna get
else though is
one.
probably not going to go well, but your run game will be solid.
That screen
Yeah.
game will be all right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can just see us sitting here next year with a new head coach again. So,
Oh, Cody
Hey,
knows
you know what? We're
Cody's
on
all about that life.
3 years in a row of a new head coach, so we'd be right there.
Yeah, if you need some NFL head coaching counseling, Cody's got you.
Yeah.
I feel
Who
like
knows? Cody might be sitting here next season with the new head coach at this rate. We just don't. We don't know.
Again, I said this the last time I was on here. Fly me out, Atlanta. I'll do a better job at this point than Stefanski's going to do. And that's not me
Listen,
being
Matt.
big-headed. It's just that I feel like a toddler might be able to do a better job.
See, Matt Ryan, get her to Mercedes for multiple reasons. Watch a game, coach your team,
Run the team.
run the team. Yeah.
Run the team. It'll be fine. Be great.
Mhm.
Yep. So there's a lot of reasons you think the Falcons could be disappointing this year, and all very valid, honestly. Trenches, you're talking about trenches, weapons, pass rush, kind of all the things that make a good football team. Honestly, like we can talk about our division, Broncos. What do they have? Best offensive line in football.
Yep.
They have pass rushing, and they have playmakers,
Oh,
especially
nice.
with the addition of Waddle. We're not talking about quarterbacks, we're talking about playmakers. Those are kind of essential for a team, right? So that would make sense why that would be what holds Atlanta back for another year.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, yeah, I don't see a scenario here where, because I started thinking in my head, like, what if they did bad enough to get into like the top 5 next year to get one of those quarterbacks? And I don't see how I don't see how Arthur Blank would let that slide at all. Yeah, that would be very interesting and kind of one to watch for, I think, maybe, possibly.
It will be a good battle between the two worst teams. So, like, we know Jets and Dolphins will battle for one, but we have some teams right after that, like the Falcons, Browns.
See, I just think I still think their roster's
I do too.
I think their Falcons roster is still too good to.
Their defense.
Yeah, again, I still think with the improvements that their defense is making, now you got to hope the new DC doesn't come in and just shit down everything that, Raheem Morris and those guys had going for them. So let's,
Matt.
Cody, let's go ahead and start this NFL draft stuff.
So, Meg, we're not going to focus solely on the Falcons. We're going to zoom out to the NFL now. So what team in the draft do you think absolutely cooked in this past draft?
I was pleasantly surprised by what the Cowboys did, actually. And that I will never put praise on the Cowboys unnecessarily. But I actually feel like they did really well.
Okay.
For the draft. If I was going to pick one. I think the Eagles got some steals in there that are impressive. Yeah, I don't think, and actually the AFC West, other than the Chargers, I feel like you guys did all right.
I agree.
Yeah, so again, I have to taper expectations. On paper, we did great in the draft, but we're gonna wait to see what it looks like. But we were talking about, like, if there's one draft pick that the Raiders hit on, which is the most important one, it's Mendoza. So that one has to be a home run. If not, all the other ones are going to be a hit.
But we did say this about Ashton Genty last season, so
you know what? Yeah. So, and Brock Bowers before that. So we'll see. I mean, we have a whole new regime still, like, mixing in picks from previous stuff. So we've got a smorgasbord of stuff going on right now with the Raiders. We have no idea where we're at, but on paper, again, we look like we've won the draft. We'll see. So the second season in a row I've heard that, and Austin last season gave them an A+. So
yeah. Well, and I did have to post on X today with some of the hot topics for AFC West, and mine for the Raiders was, yes, they had a stellar offseason, but they are still the worst team in this division. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. Like, they had probably the best offseason of any team as far as free agency and draft.
Sure.
They're still the last place team in the West.
Yeah. Well, I think, the gap's closing, but there's still a pretty considerable size gap. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and say that we're going to compete for third place. Like, my buddy Drew was on last week, and he was basically saying if they double their win total to 6 wins, that's a huge improvement because, like, hey, you're seeing progress, but that's how bad we were this past season. So that's essentially where the expectation is at. But, Is there any team in your division though that you saw that got much better than everybody else?
I think the Panthers again, and I said this last time I was on here, but like people sleep on the Panthers and look at how far they went last season. And I think they've had a really solid off season as well. I've got no doubt in my mind that the division is going to be even more difficult for us next season.
Yeah, and I continuously love to see what they're doing. They knew what they needed on defense, and they didn't wait around. Now, did they? Again, we'll say they did overpay for a couple of those defensive players, but those defensive players, that makes them legit, like possibly NFC contenders.
Yeah.
With what they were able to do with that defense and the signings that they made with Phillips and Devin Lloyd, and then they added
100%.
the depth pieces in the draft. Like that's how your offseason is supposed to be: so oversign or overpay for a couple people, and then fill in with the draft. And then that again, it comes down to Bryce Young.
Yep.
Do you think this is like a make or break season for Bryce Young?
I don't think so. I think he did enough last season that I think that, yes, of course, eyes are going to be on him regardless, quarterback, you know. I rate him. I think I think he's got the talent there. I think, again, it comes down to putting the pieces around him that are going to make him look as good as he is. Yeah. And we saw it last season. They really, really stepped up with that. I think especially the fact that the Buccaneers have lost Mike Evans. I think there's so many factors that come in from the different parts of our division that make Bryce Young's future look more promising.
Yeah. And so was there a pick that maybe kind of had you sitting there like, what's going on? Yeah,
I was surprised. So I take my mock drafts very seriously, as you guys know. It's a, several months process for me of, cross-referencing and strategy and what team needs what. And, that team have just, signed someone in the off season. I'm going to have to change my draft pick for them. And it goes on for a while, to the point that my computer memory got a little bit full of spreadsheets and stuff. But I guess this kind of kills two questions that with one stone here. But Mekhi Lemon, right? I had that guy going. I had best wide receiver in the class, number one, at least top two, right? When he didn't go, I think my final mock draft I had him going at 9. When he fell to 20 to the Eagles, I was like, I'm watching the first round, and I went live for it for the first maybe 8 or 9 picks, and my first round was my first top 10 were pretty solid. I was pretty accurate with where I was going. When he just wasn't appearing, I was like, what do you mean nobody's picking up Mekhi Lemon? This guy's insane, and nobody's looking at him. What? What's the guy Squirrel that retired after 16 days today?
Yeah, Squirrel White.
He went undrafted, and again, he was faster than Tyreek Hill. There's certain things that happen at every draft that blow my mind, like Michael Penix. But this for me, I would have liked. I think Mekhi Lemon was done a disservice there. I think he should have gone earlier.
I'm so glad the Falcons drafted Michael Penix.
Yeah.
I thought Lemon was going to go to the Rams at 13. I didn't think Ty Simpson was going to go before him.
Ty Simpson was a surprise for me. I was agog.
I want to throw something at you. If your Falcons had drafted Ty Simpson, would you have been upset?
This year? Yes.
In the first round?
In the first round, yes.
Okay.
I would have been.
Same.
I can't say that I would have been very excited.
What about Carson Beck? If they drafted Carson Beck in the first round?
I wouldn't have been as mad.
Didn't think so.
Okay. I wouldn't have been as mad.
In the first round, though, you wouldn't have been a little sad.
I was going to say, Beck went in the third round. You guys could have waited till then. That would have made, that would have worked out.
But again, Falcons do Falcons things the same way that Browns do Browns things. So
that does
fair.
happen.
So I'm going to guess that's your answer to the next one is what rookie are people sleeping on, and you're probably going to Mekhi Lemon was the answer for that. So is there maybe another one that maybe comes to mind? I had one that I really thought was going to be my answer through the offseason, and then he got way overdrafted from like projection. So I don't know if I'm allowed to say him anymore. But for you, anybody besides Lemon that people may be just overlooking?
I think Caleb Downs is a really good one to watch, and I think Zacharias Branch, obviously, Georgia boy. But see, this is why I don't pick home picks. I was like, I'm not going to go for Branch. I'm not. But Caleb Downs is one for me, and I think Arvell Reese wasn't really spoken as much about as I would have liked to have heard him spoken about. I know he went obviously like super early, but like I feel like people weren't talking as much about him as they could have been.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else. That's probably my main ones.
I just want everyone to, I'm so butthurt that the Cowboys got Caleb Downs. Like, it sucks that I have to say the Cowboys had a good draft because they got Caleb Downs, and I like the Lawrence pick, the next pick that they had after him, the DN from UCF. So absolutely torn that I have to say this, and it sucks that it's on live, and now there's now a video of this.
There's so many videos they can go see with us leading up to the draft of us pounding the table about Caleb Downs. Like, it's out there.
Yeah.
No, my sleeper was going to be Deshaun Stribling. He was supposed to be like a 3rd or 4th round receiver, and the Niners were like, "Nah, dude, we're taking him
second round."
Yeah, very top of the 2nd round. So I don't know if I can say that anymore since he went way above projections, but yeah, I like the Caleb Downs one. I know he's a safety, but 12 still feels a little too far to fall for him.
He's going to be all over the field.
Yeah,
so
and plus a team like the Cowboys too. I don't.
Yeah. That doesn't help
that team. No,
at all. Or I guess 11. They traded up, didn't they? They traded
12.
up for him.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. He's
but
on
either
the
way,
team.
he slid way too far for the talent he is. So I like that pick for your sleeper. Matt?
So, Meg, which AFC and NFC, I'm sorry, let me rephrase it this way because I only put one conference in here. Did the AFC or did the NFC get scarier after the draft class?
I think both did, to be honest. I think it's wide open right now, but I think the NFC probably edged that fear factor for me. I think there is a lot of talent headed our way.
Yeah. The only thing that makes me on the fence is the Bengals. I think the defensive pieces they've added, that offense has no issues putting up 40 points a game. So if their defense can even hold people to 4 touchdowns a game, I actually kind of like what they did. So I think that brings the Bengals back into maybe not Super Bowl contention, but definitely AFC North contention. And anytime you bring Joe Burrow and that offense back into talk, it makes me a little worried. Maybe PTSD coming out for me with Burrowhead and everything. But yeah, I do think the NFC as a whole got better. Like the Giants, what they were able to do, right? Yeah. I think the Commanders kind of nailed their picks. We talked about the Panthers, what they were able to. I mean, the steal of the draft might have been Bane to the Bucks at 15.
Yeah.
You're talking about Lemon to the Eagles, Downs to the Cowboys. Like, I do think the NFC probably added a little more top talent than the AFC.
Yeah, I think NFC for sure.
Losers. No, the NFC didn't do shit.
And Cardinals added Carson Wentz.
Yeah,
right.
I know, what a weapon.
They got their franchise quarterback. How about that?
He's looking like Mahomes, I think they were trying to allude to.
No, they said Burrow.
Was it Burrow that he looked like?
It's even worse.
Yeah, bro. The little caption like this guy looks like another national championship quarterback from LSU, and I'm like, that's why people don't take people seriously.
You didn't win a national championship though. Like, we just watched you lose.
Lost it. I think two different national championship games, right?
Did he? Did he lose a natty at
Georgia?
I don't know if that was the Georgia. I don't think that was a national championship game. Was it?
No.
Okay.
I'm just used to Georgia being in it, so when they lost.
Yeah. So let's get into segment 4 here, and then this is women in football media. So what's the coolest part about building your platform so far in the football world?
I think for me now, especially like my confidence in like, so I've always had like pretty decent ball knowledge, but I think my confidence in that has grown massively because when I started, every single person that I came across for the first maybe like 2 or 3 months would almost try and catch me out, like, oh, there's this British girl talking about football, right? And they immediately are like, oh, what would happen if the Falcons played the Bucks in a Super Bowl? And I'd be like, well, that doesn't
It would never happen.
That wouldn't happen. But they were just trying to catch me out on it by saying like stupid shit like that, and I'd be like, stop, like. So I feel like I've stopped having to prove myself a little bit. I feel like people can watch my stuff and it speaks for itself. Like, you know, I'm not out here just making stuff up for the sake of making stuff up. I watch college ball more so now than I have before. So I'm kind of up on the draft rookies coming forward. So that's been pretty cool, seeing the personal development in that, but also just the way that I feel like there's space opening up. It's not fully there yet. I feel like there's space opening up for women to be, well, there was until, you know, Vrabel, Mercedes. And then immediately I got contacted by 3 different podcasts being like, can you come on and talk about Diana Rossini? And I was like, oh, good. Here we go. Yeah, I think it's nice to see that it's more acceptable for women to be talking sport.
Yeah.
Agreed. She kind of knocked mine out of the park, so we'll go to yours, Matt or Cody.
What's my name again? I'm just kidding. So Megan, nowadays, what motivates you to keep creating during shows or during the off-season cycle? Like, what gives you that drive to just keep the wheels spinning?
It has to be the love of the sport. Like there's nothing else that can motivate you than doing something that you love, because I mean, we all work day jobs, right? We all know how exhausting life can get. Just
what are you laughing at, Austin?
You. Anytime I hear we work day jobs, I just think of Cody. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, but we're all in this like hamster wheel of like just getting through. But like for me, if I didn't love what I do additionally to what pays my bills,
sure,
I wouldn't be able to make time or energy for it. Do you know, like you have to love what you're doing, otherwise it's pointless.
And then to your credit of like you putting in that effort and that energy is bearing fruit now with being on a network and being able to go to these events and all this other things and opportunities are opening doors for you, even since a year ago that we had you on. So it's cool to see just how far you've exploded just in the short time that you came on, and then what we've seen, following all that. It's just amazing to see like steps turning into leaps, turning into jumps, turning into just huge strides of success. And it's going to just compound interest on top of all that very, very soon. So it's really cool to see.
Thank you. I hope so. I hope you're right.
The NFL even told her happy birthday.
See, the NFL don't say squat to me.
See?
I thought it was just like a generic email that I got, but apparently it wasn't.
I've never gotten one.
Like happy birthday from what was it? Happy birthday from all of us at the NFL and your fans or something like that. And I was like,
oh, that's pretty cool.
What?
Yeah, we can just sign you to the league. That'd be even better.
Right. I'll take beat reporter at this point for.
We were going to sign you to be the head coach, but sure, you can be the reporter if you want.
At this point, I will work my way up. Right?
There you go.
And not in the Rossini way, because I don't believe it.
Of course, yes.
I have had that opportunity previously handed to me, and I said no. So just putting it out there.
So what advice are you giving to someone who's scared to post something for like sports content for the first time?
The only thing that I can say is just to do it. Like make it what you're comfortable with posting, but also if I could go back and give myself the advice that I think I needed when I started posting, was you're always going to come up against people who are going to criticize. You're always going to have people who disagree with you. You're going to get the trolls who just disagree for the sake of disagreeing. You can't take it personally. And also you can't take back what you put out. So there's nothing that I've ever posted where I'm like, I shouldn't have posted that. I'm, anything that I say in real life, I say with my chest and I'll stand on.
Mhm.
But a lot of people that I know have been caught up with situations or scenarios where they've posted something out of anger, especially in the sports world, right? Because you're passionate as a fan and you're watching your team getting annihilated and you decide to like go on a rant about your quarterback or whatever. And that's fine if you're just chatting in your group chat to your friends. Yeah. However, if you're going to be taken seriously as someone who's a broadcaster or who does commentary or who you want to be seen in that light rather than just a fan on the internet, you have to be so aware from the minute you start posting what you're posting and how many people potentially it can hit. Like one of my videos hit 500,000 views last week and it was not even one that I put any effort into or anything that I I looked dog rough in this video. I posted it just being like, oh, by the way, have you seen this news about a horse? 500,000 views, right? I can't take back how I look in that video, but it's not about sport, but it's that perception of you. Like it's out there, it stays out there. And no matter how many times you delete things or whatever, they will come back. Like it does. People will always come back and be like, do you remember that time when you were wrong about all 32 draft picks? Or, like, do you remember that time when you said that this guy was going to be a success and he's bombed it? Like, you're going to get it. And yeah, be aware.
Spot on with the trolls. Me and a Broncos fan were having a friendly conversation and I thought I had ended it with the Ricky Bobby gif of like, I don't know what to do with my hands. And from the top rope, somebody came out and said, well, you can start by taking them out of your butt. And I'm like, read the room, man. Like we were having a good time, but
people took it so seriously.
Yeah. We're trying to have a good time. Awesome. So we're going to move on to the next one, rapid fire, where you kind of just spit out an answer, whatever comes to mind. And I guess I'll start it off. Most overrated NFL, either narrative or team or player right now in the NFL?
This is supposed to be rapid fire and it's definitely not going to be with me.
Yeah, she is.
I think the most overrated narrative right now is that the Chiefs dynasty is over. I don't think it's over just yet.
I'm going to start the drum for this.
I think so.
It's over.
Damn it, I was going to say Justin Herbert, but all right.
All right, Meg. So I'm sure that you have this coming up on one of your shows or a content that you're going to post later on, but your way too early Falcons record prediction, if you're okay sharing it.
4-13.
Okay.
Holy.
So you got them last place in the division, I imagine. Okay.
Better food, wings or barbecue? I feel like this is unfair because I don't know. Have you what barbecue have you had?
We have barbecue. We've got one restaurant that does it. Like
they have barbecue fish and chips.
That actually wouldn't be too bad.
We have brisket. Okay, we have brisket. Oh. That's good with me.
Damn. Okay. Now I'm gonna have to make sure I come over there and try that.
Yeah, when we go to that KU game.
Well, we need a baseline. So we need to meet up at Missouri or with Carl Pickens had set a restaurant out in Ohio, Cincinnati. If I'm not mistaken, in Cincinnati. So we need a baseline to get the best barbecue from there, and then we go over to the UK to get that barbecue, and then I
would just suggest Kansas City's got to be last because if you have Kansas City first, then that's not going to be fair for all the others.
Yeah, everything's going to taste terrible afterwards.
Yeah, no one's going to want to do the other ones, but that's fair.
Meg hopped out. She was like, "I'm done with food conversation."
No, my ring light's falling over, so I was just fixing it without looking like.
Isn't it funny the stuff that happens behind the scenes of content creating that people don't know? Like microphone's not working, camera's not working. Oh, I can't hear you.
Screen's cracked.
I had it. So my monitor right here, I cracked the first one where I couldn't see anybody on this half of the screen. Yeah.
I know you're here. Next one, most toxic division in football.
Oh,
Oh, I thought this was going to be an easy one.
The Chiefs, just Chiefs fans.
No, I was going
I
to say
think-
NFC East.
I was
No.
going to say the NFC East would be my initial one, but I also think the NFC North is getting that way as well.
Ooh. Yeah, with the Bears.
The Bears all
coming
of a sudden
around.
having.
I
Yeah.
was going to say the AFC East is pretty toxic.
Mm,
Well, now that the Patriots had a good season,
Now that the Patriots lost the Super Bowl with the historically easiest schedule in the history of football.
mhm.
So
Yeah,
they're
A lot of
frauds, is what
toxic
you're saying?
division.
and their coach is going around throwing bones around, and people are still just like, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's untouched in this, right? He's like
He's
just
literally not gotten
strolling through,
scathed about
living life.
anything. He took
Good
a half
throw.
day. He took a half day on the second or third day of the draft, and he's looked like a hero for spending time with his family. But here you have Diana still being drugged through the media. It's very interesting, the two different sides of it.
Yeah.
literally like she's having to do paternity tests on her kids over there, but he's like father of the year meantime. So
Hey,
cool.
hey, nobody can take away that coach of the year.
He can go sit with his brother taking a dump on draft night on live TV.
Matt.
All right. Who's one creator that you would want to collab with next?
Oh,
And it can be anybody. It can be big, small. It can be some fan, like a page that you're a fan of that you want to collab with. It can be any of that.
there is actually some really, really cool creators within the network that I've just joined that I'm really excited to like jump in and make some content with and get. I've had quite a few of them come on the radio show and chat, mostly Ravens fans. So can we
Yeah.
just
I actually kind of like Ravens fans. They've been kind of fun to talk to. Some of them.
I haven't seen any.
I mean,
I haven't-
over here there's a lot of Ravens fans.
That's interesting.
Mm,
They must be Game of Thrones people.
pretty
Or-
much.
Or Edgar Allan Poe of the Raven.
Mhm.
Because I think, wasn't that written in the UK?
Yeah, Edgar Allan Poe was
Look at
We've
you,
actually-
Cody. Okay,
Dropping
bro.
knowledge.
Just a history. That's all.
Hey, I appreciate the literature knowledge.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah. So let's get to some. We got some fan comments here that we've been kind of. It's mostly Drewski, which is good because
Our boy Drewski.
Drewski's been very active. So he did say earlier on that the Bucks got a steal at 15 with Ruben Bain. That was one that people kind of surprised that he kind of fell. What were your thoughts on Ruben Bain?
I like Ruben Bain actually. Bit concerned that he's obviously at the Bucks division rivals, not ideal.
Hmm.
But I'm excited to see what he can do. I do think he's a very, very good player. So
And this one will make Cody happy.
Yeah.
So
German
Tennessee,
McCoy, yeah. Do you know
Being
I
a steal
forgot
at
about him.
fourth.
yeah, Cody was super pumped about that. That made him give the Raiders a C on the draft grade.
No, I said B+.
Oh, B plus. That's
We have to
Yeah.
show Drewski's wild comments.
and then
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow,
I love you, Drewski, but you knew we were going to throw that one up.
Drewski is Carson
Wow.
Beck getting better than your boy Josh Allen though.
Ooh.
Oh, you know
He's
what?
better than Burrow. Then he's better than that one.
And then Drewski throwing some comments out here.
Yes, this is fact.
Yeah. That's why we have her on here, so we can gain some sports knowledge.
The Baller Meg handle is not just for looks. It is facts on
Yep.
on that.
Cody, hey, no more crash out.
Not yet.
Not yet. Seasons hasn't started yet. Meg and I will probably be crashing out together during the season.
There you go.
I feel
We're
like
gonna
I'm
have little dual videos of Meg and Cody
It'll be
crashing
like
out.
Phil Collins will fill it in the air.
I've already planned like a full season of content of just me like
Well, then what happens if they start winning and it's like, well, now you got to rethink everything, right? Because
It'd be a crash in.
look, I can
That's a good
pre-record.
problem.
I
That's a
can
good
pretty much pre-record this Falcons content before the season starts, right? My
Yeah.
color code for the Falcons is red, right? Pretty much all the way through. There's just going to be me like, and another one.
Tua comes out and has an MVP season. It's a good problem to have.
Shit.
Wow.
Come on, let's be realistic.
That wasn't me predicting that. That was me going along with the jokes here.
Cody, make sure you
Yeah, Cody's going to cut that up.
But
make
he's
sure
going to
we
make
get
sure he's got it cut just in
Yeah.
case
We're
it
gonna-
happens.
He's going to
Like he did.
me.
kind of like he did with the draft pick from the Raiders last year when Austin was on camera. Cody
Yeah.
clipped that part from last year and brought it in.
Yeah, he's like, the Raiders got a solid A for me. Yep, I'm gonna put that right there.
Right there.
Taking that.
You're gonna do me dirty with this like you did Denver Dev.
Oh, you guys have no idea. I can clip videos to get you guys saying things y'all never said. I just don't do it because I like you guys, but I could very
Also, we
easily
wanna
have you
put
guys.
out correct content, accurate content too. That matters. Remember the light Meg was talking about being seen in?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to get you guys canceled, but I may get you, I may make you look like a Bronco fan before the end of the season. So
Why?
just because it's
Nobody.
fun.
What have you seen Bo Nix's ankle right now? Nobody wants to be a Broncos fan right this
I know
second.
he got
Sorry.
bow leg.
Don't
all
believe
of a
everything you
sudden.
see on the internet, Meg.
That's all she has.
Don't believe it. Don't believe everything. Your internet's a little different than ours over here. Don't believe what you see on the internet.
Okay. my
Man,
look,
that's so gross.
my work husband is a Broncos fan, right? And he literally comes in and he's like, "Have you seen this? Have you seen this?" And I'm like, "That's fake news. That's real. That's fake news." And when he was looking at Bo Nix's ankles last week, I was like, "Yeah, that's real."
That one could be real though. Like it's pretty gross.
That was a picture of Alex Smith's leg, by the way.
Was it? That one was gross.
Did you do like a Google reverse image like research to see whose leg it was?
Oh, I'm not
Who's
that invested.
smart. Yeah, like who's that smart, Cody?
No, I was asking Corey if he did that because he already said it's Alex Smith's leg. I didn't notice it.
I mean, it's pretty obvious. So
You see a leg, you just know whose
So
it
if Bo
is.
Nix comes out limping, are we not going
Like
to
that
say anything about it?
pedicure.
you
He's like, I can
Killing me.
spot those toes anywhere.
whoa.
Whoa, Meg, who wins Monday Night Football opener? Chiefs, Broncos.
Broncos.
Both quarterbacks play.
Broncos.
She still
Yeah,
said
right.
Broncos, by the way.
Patrick Mahomes doesn't play.
Still Broncos.
Okay. I didn't know if you were a Justin Fields person or not, so just had to see.
Is anybody a Justin Fields person?
Well,
I like Justin Fields.
yeah,
I don't like Justin Fields
You
now.
always like Justin Fields.
Not now.
not anymore.
Anymore.
Not anymore. So Meg, let's go ahead and get you plugging in your socials with everybody watching tonight. So again, thank you for your time. We appreciate it. So tell everyone where they can find you at.
The handle is just here at ballers_Meg, pretty much everywhere. You can hit my YouTube at the Meg Zone UK. My radio show is on Southern Roots Radio. It's called the Meg Zone as well. And if you want to follow my country music adventures, it's at the Sporty Cowgirl.
Oh, okay. Before you go, what's your top 5 country songs right now?
Oh my God, that is pressure. Kane Brown, Two Pair is up there as a summer anthem.
Okay.
Emily Ann Roberts, Jack and Jill Daniels.
Any relation to the whiskey?
All right, we got 2.
Oh my God, that is so much. Ella Langley, my girl Ella Langley has to come
Yeah.
through here,
You
right?
pick any of her songs and you can just add it to the list. Yeah.
You look
Where's
like you
Taylor
love me.
Swift?
Oh, that's a great one.
This is an Ella Langley household.
Taylor Swift is not country anymore.
If you wear a cowboy hat and boots, you're cowboy or country.
Old school Taylor is country, but her new stuff is.
It is not country anymore now. She's pop
Talking
and
about-
indie.
Ella Langley is country.
Yes.
Yes,
Full
Ella
on.
Langley.
We're talking about Taylor Swift.
Oh my God, who else? Brooks and Dunn, Red Dirt Road has to be my all-time favorite.
Classic.
Do you like the
Classic.
original one, or because they did a reboot one a couple years ago? That reboot one's not bad, but do you like the original?
Oh, the
Always.
OG. I actually saw
Mm.
Brooks and Dunn at the festival in March, and I cried for Neon Moon.
Oh
I,
yeah.
I
I bet
So
that would have
just-
been a spiritual awakening.
They're just they're classic.
Brooks
Everything.
and Dunn, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
They're-
honestly God tier.
Yeah.
And Scotty McCreery, 5 More Minutes has to be
Uh-oh.
on my top
That's a name
5.
I haven't heard for
Again,
a while.
he showed all the images. So both of his grandmas died on the same day
Mm.
last year,
Jeez.
and he showed images of him growing up with his like videos and stuff of him growing up with his grandparents when he was singing that song. The whole place,
Yeah,
everyone.
that sounds like
okay.
an emotional time at this concert.
It was a journey, because we also had Drake Milligan, Zach Top.
Oh,
Like-
that's a great lineup.
We had so many. Russell Dickerson was there,
Hmm.
and There Ain't No Party Like an RD Party, but then followed up by, Scotty McCreery's 5 More Minutes was just wild. And Brooks and Dunn. Brooks and
Oh
Dunn
my God.
headlining.
Yeah.
Insane.
That sounds like
That's
it
a
was
good
an amazing time.
list.
It's like literally core memories unlocked.
All right. Anybody got? Do you guys have anything else? Meg, you got anything else? We'll give you the mic for a little bit if you want to spit some facts out or anything else you want us to know.
Spit some facts. I've become an MC now. No, I really haven't. Although one of my friends recently, my latest nickname is actually Megan M. Due to a really poor decision on my part.
You freestyle for us?
No, I was absent-mindedly rapping "Lose Yourself" on TikTok Live one day.
Hell yeah.
Another classic.
Yes.
Don't say that I ain't got eclectic music taste, but yeah, bad choices. No, I have no joy or hope for next season right now.
Oh, jeez.
I'm really struggling to muster the obviously I love football, right? And actually one thing I do want to shout out is over here there's a big growth in flag football, right?
Yep.
Especially because the laws across here mean that under 18s there's no contact football allowed. So I don't know if that's the same for you guys or not, but you're like, no, damage the kids' brains as early as possible.
There's player safety, no such thing. Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so flag football over here is pretty much the only thing that under 18s can play. So I'm one step away from being qualified coach for flag football.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've just got to do my practical assessment now. But I took my godson, my nephew, to watch his first ever game of flag football 2 weekends ago. And we had a couple of, so my friend is QB1 for the team and my other friend is wide receiver 1 for the team. So it was a great time for him because he just thought, oh my God, all these famous people are like going to take photos of me and they're chatting to me, they're giving me sweets. And I was like, it's literally like a very low league local team, but he loved it. So shout out to the West Lancashire Serpents because they were phenomenal. And if you are in the UK watching, definitely try and hit up your local team because they don't get the funding for any of this. And bringing the sport in whatever form to the UK is super, super important. So if you get the chance, hit me up. I'll tell you who your local teams are. I've got people who play in all of them that I know that I can connect you up with. And yeah, support them, share their stuff.
Didn't you win a dance contest since the last time you were on here?
I got invited to the first game of the season last season by the NFL UK people. They had asked me to do a bit of content for them for TikTok, and they invited me to their season opener party in Manchester, and things got a little crazy, I will say. Because the minute I walked in, they were like, "Oh, your food and drink is free for the day." Big mistake. And here's as many Pop-Tarts as you could ever eat in your lifetime. Also, every time you walk past someone, they're like, have a Pop-Tart. I'm like, oh my God, I do not want any more Pop-Tarts. Like, okay.
But yes, please.
Yeah, but my bag was full of them. Literally full. Turns out I can't play cornhole, at all. Because there's a still shot of me overarm lobbing a beanbag, and it went at speed into my friend. It was like a solid 5 meters from where he was supposed to be standing. So injuries. But then they said that there was a competition to win Madden 26 and tickets to one of the London games, one of the Jets games in London.
Ew.
And I didn't want to go to the Jets game, if I'm honest, but I did want Madden 26. So the competition was to do your best touchdown celebration dance.
There you go.
And and I came second, so I did get Madden
Oh.
26. I didn't get the tickets, thankfully.
Oh.
But I was really annoyed because mine was the only original celebration. Everybody else just like somebody did the gritty. Like that's so unoriginal to me.
Yeah.
At least mine was interesting.
Yours was something.
It really was. There's a video of it if you scroll back far enough on my TikTok. I did post the video.
We might have to make sure to go find that one and repost it on
Yeah,
our
it might
TikTok.
resurface
You know-
around here.
Do you know what the kick in the teeth was for that though? I did win. Obviously, they gave me like the code for Madden 26 for my PS5, but they also handed me a Buccaneers cap.
Oh. Ooh.
Did they know what your fandom was?
I
I'm
was
sure
wearing
you.
a Falcons jersey.
Right, the Bijan, right?
I was wearing my Bijan. Like,
Here's a Bucks hat for you.
Yeah.
Gross.
yeah, I was less pleased about that one. So, yeah.
All right. So as we kind of start wrapping it up, I'm sure, what time is it over there?
6 hours ahead.
Yeah, it's I don't
Almost
know.
two.
My MacBook's frozen, so
It's almost
pass.
2.
there we go.
Jeez. So as we kind of start wrapping up here, I do want to give some sponsorship shout outs. I see JBW Solutions over there in the comment section. Jeff, welcome in.
Let them know to watch the beginning.
You got to watch the beginning of the show. We had a surprise at the beginning of the show as well. So Jeff was wearing the JBW Solutions studio here recording live. Every live episode is out of the JBW Solutions studio. So then Troy and his team over at Kansas Field Ops for all your court markings and field markings. And then Angie and her team over at Emporia State Federal Credit Union. Meg, it's always an honor. Don't wait a year again to come back on here.
Hey, anytime you want me on, just shout.
Yeah.
Make the time.
All right, guys. Anything else before we log out of here tonight?
Absolutely not. Appreciate your time, Meg. As always, time for you
Thanks
to
for
get
having
some
me, guys.
couple hours of
Appreciate
sleep and back at it.
Yeah, get some
Yeah.
sleep.
I will. Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you, Meg.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. We'll see you.